Hey, Nate here with the Mixed Bag YouTube channel, and I'm in Dallas tackling a busted water line. I'll be wrangling sky-high quotes, carving out trenches, smashing through sprinkler lines and stubborn tree roots, laying down brand new pipe, meeting a few characters along the way, and saving myself thousands in the process. I am on my way over to a rental property that I own. I got a text message this morning from my tenants. It said that they were outside in the front yard and they heard a popping noise. And then all of a sudden there was bubbling up from the ground. I thought to myself, it's one of two things. It's either a sprinkler line that has broken or it's the main water line between the water meter and the house. I'm headed over there right now. We are gonna take a look at it. I need to do a little bit of diagnosing and figure out if I want to repair it or if we're going to try and replace the line.
What you're seeing on the bottom is the water meter, and on the top, that's where the leak was happening next to the tree. I spent about 30 minutes turning the water off and on to pinpoint where the leak was happening and decide if we wanted to repair or replace the water line.
Let me pull out a little bit more water first. Go for it. Will you turn it full blast? Okay, you can turn it off.
I heard that start pouring.
I think we're just about there.
After we poked around for a while, I decided that I wanted to get the opinion of a professional plumber to see how much it would cost for them to replace the water line. I had already looked on Facebook and found a plumber that could do it for $1,800, but I also wanted to call one of the top names within the area to see what they thought. So they gave us a quote.
All right, what's the damage?
Oh, so $62.75 on full replacement.
Mm-hmm.
So being that we have no idea what we're digging at there.
Yep.
Like I said, there's no way to tell. It could be directly under and tied into a root ball. Might not even be possible in that location if it is indeed directly under the tree. I can't fix that.
Yeah.
But if it's possible, you'd be looking at $3,600.
36 for the repair?
To dig all that up right there and try to get under that tree.
Okay.
Well, y'all have a good day.
Okay.
Like I said, let me know.
Okay, will do.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, it's been an eventful last hour or so. I went over to the property, I took a look at it, and it definitely has a leak or a break in the water main somewhere between the house and the meter box. Plumber gave us a quote for $6,200 to replace the whole line. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, my tenant's like, hey, I wonder if we could replace this ourselves. And I don't think these things are actually that difficult to do. So I think that's what we're gonna try and do tomorrow. Hopefully we can make it work. Today is day 3 of trying to get the water main fixed. Yesterday didn't quite go as planned. We got out there early in the morning and we started digging. Step 1 was to find where the water main came out of the house. And based on the recommendation from a plumber, I started to dig underneath the hose bib at the front of the house. And I probably dug for an hour and a half and couldn't find anything. So after that, we decided to start working on digging near the water meter. And we dug out the water meter that was there. That didn't go so bad. It was a little bit wet because when it had flooded yesterday, it saturated the ground. So we had to deal with a bunch of wet clay, which isn't fun. And then after that, we ran to Home Depot. Our trencher rental started at 10 o'clock. Went over there at 10, grabbed the trencher. It was an 18-inch trencher, so from what I read online, it was an okay depth to be underneath the frost line. So we went back and we started to trench. We had the trencher for 4 hours, so we were hoping to get everything done within that 4 hours. We start trenching and we had a manual trencher, so we had to pull it. It didn't like move itself. And that was kind of hard, but we were managing it. And then things took a turn for the worse when we accidentally hit not 1, not 2, but 3 sprinkler lines. Well, I hit something.
Yes, sir. What do we have here? Here's a pipe.
It looks like it's, oh, I hope that's not the sprinkler. It probably is.
Yeah, it's leaking.
Let me see if I turn on the water, if stuff comes out.
Yes, sir.
Coming out?
Yes, sir.
When we hit them, I wasn't quite sure what they were. We thought maybe it was the main water line. So we went and turned back on the water meter. Water started gushing out of the sprinkler line, but it wasn't gushing out of the place where the original leak was. So it made me think the original leak was a sprinkler line. I found a way to turn off the sprinkler since they were connected to the main line. And then I turned it back on and the original leak started again. So it was probably just because there was a drop in pressure in the 3 sprinkler lines. So when I turned on the water, all the water got pushed to there instead of getting pushed to the water main leak. And we dug for about another hour. That's when I stood up and I was just thinking to myself, we haven't been able to find the water main underneath the house. And if we can't find that, we really have no idea where we're going. So I decided to bag it. It was kind of defeating. It's not very often that with a combination of YouTube and hard work, we can't figure it out, but. So I called up the contractor who told us they would do it for $1,800 and I just said, hey, come back and you can take care of it. So that's where we are this morning. All right, well, here's the damage from yesterday. Here's the trench that we dug. It went pretty well up until about this point right here. And then we had to start curving it around. That was a little tougher. And it's hard to see, but right here at this point, we hit 3 sprinkler lines. So those will have to get replaced today. There's a big puddle of water. This goes down about 2 feet. And the original leak it's down in there, surrounded by roots. That's why we decided ultimately to replace the line rather than fix it, just so that we didn't have to dig around those roots and try and just find it, which would be real tough. All right, so they use this super cool tool. I think it's a soil prod or a pipe prod. And they basically take it and they stick it into the dirt. And what they're looking for is that hollow tap of a pipe. It seems to be the most difficult part of changing out your water main, is finding where it ties into the house, which is really the same reason we gave up yesterday, because we couldn't find it. We finally located the water line. It was about 5 feet over from where I was originally digging at. And the guys, they had dug about 5 feet to the right of where I was originally digging, but it wasn't even that deep. With that, we will be able to pull this trench right there, down a little bit further, wrap it around and tie it right in. After the trench was finished and cleaned out, we laid down the new 3/4 inch PEX-A water line between the house and the water meter. The crew even ran it underneath the sidewalk to reach the meter connection point. Next, the plumber got started tying the new water line into both the water meter and the sprinkler main. To do that, he cut small pieces of PEX to size and used crimp fittings along with a T-joint to create solid, permanent connections. After finishing the meter side, he moved on to the connection at the house. He installed a new water shutoff valve and a valve box, so I now have easy access to turn the water off whenever I need to. The plumber was even nice enough to repair the 3 sprinkler lines that I accidentally cut through on day 1, even though that part definitely wasn't his fault. After that came one of the most satisfying steps, filling the trench back in and seeing everything finally come together. I learned a lot during this whole process. If I had been able to find where the original water line tied into the house, I might have kept going with the DIY approach, but I'm glad I eventually called in the pros. And because I found this plumber on Facebook instead of using a big name company, I saved over $5,400 while still getting excellent quality. Thanks for watching me as I learned about plumbing.
If you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing.